Hello and welcome to another video tutorial. In this session, we're going to look at another example of masking. So what we're seeing right now is a typical example of masking, and we're going to demonstrate how this is done. And then we'll take other two examples of masking. All right, so we go straight to Adobe Animate, and then using the text to we'll type the word masking, all right, and then using the free transform tool, um, we are going to make this a bit bigger, and then I can just position it this way. All right, so that's fine. So layer one here is going to be the masking layer. So I just leave it as masking, and then add the content layer. We should go below the masking layer. So we're going to bring to stage the scene of the market. So that is market, all right. And we have to convert this into a symbol. So we go to modify, and then right click, I'll just click on M and click on OK. At the 100th frame, I'm going to insert a frame for both layers. And in between layer 2, I'll insert a motion twin. All right. So once a motion twin is inserted, I bring the playhead to the far end of layer 2, hold the shift key, and then drag the image gradually towards the end. All right. So what this is doing basically um, is going to create the illusion of a movement, right? And then the image is going to cut through the letters masking, right? So I'm going to click on the masking layer and select mask, right? So when that is done, you hit on the playhead, you notice that the word masking has the image of the market, right, cut within it. All right, so this is one off example. Now, another example we can have with masking has to do with displaying probably a text, like making it appear as if you are typing out the letters. So first of all, we're going to type the word welcome using the text tool, all right? And we will just drag this to the middle. So this here is going to be the text that's going to be displayed. So that is going to be the content, all right? And then we're going to have the max layer. In this case, going to be a rectangle. So I'll just name it as rec mask, right? All right, so then I'm going to draw a rectangle to cover this here. Now, the color of the max layer, in this case, a rectangle, doesn't really matter in this case here. All right, then at the 60th frame, I'm going to insert a frame for both layers and then bring the playhead to the far end and then move the rectangle to the start of the word welcome, right? And then in between, I'll create a motion twin, which will force this rectangle to be converted into a symbol. So I'll click on OK and then bring the playhead to the far end, holding the shift key. I gradually move the rectangle over the letters. And so once you do that, it will reveal the word welcome gradually as if it's been typed out. Then we hold that particular layer that has been um, converted into a motion twin and select mask, right? So if I bring the play head right there and click on the play key, you notice that it creates the effect of typing out the word welcome. Okay, so this is also another example where we can use masking to display a word. So in this case, we use it to display the word welcome. So with our last example, we'll go back to the text run to Jesus. All right. So this here will be the text layer. and we're going to have four different colors below this. I'm going to lock this and bring in four different layers. So one, two, three, four. So that is fine. I'll label this here as red, and this here will be blue. Um, that is going to be black, and then we'll take the last one, which is red. Okay. So what we're going to do is, since this is the max layer, that should always be at the top. So I'm going to label as mask underscore L, right? And so here I'm going to pick up a rectangle and draw it over the shape. Sorry, and draw it over this here. And this should have the color red. So I'm going to change this here to a fill of red, right? Then I'm going to lock that and pick up a different color, this time around blue. So I'll just pick any shade of blue and then draw, sorry, I have to come to the blue layer and then draw the shape blue over it. Go down. So next we're going to pick a blue rectangle. So the blue rectangle, any shade of blue, and I'm going to draw um, so next we're going to pick a blue color. So we go back to the rectangle and then pick the color blue and make sure you're on the red, the blue layer, and then draw a rectangle. Okay, right over that. If I hide the red eye, you notice that I have the blue rectangle right over that. And I'm going to move to the next color. So I'll just move the timeline up above. So the next color is black. We have two red colors, so I'll change one to yellow. So this here will be yellow. All right, so that's fine. So I'm going to go to black and so the rectangle again, choose and change color to black. And then I'm going to draw again over the background. Okay. So if we select here, we notice that they are both overlaying each other. Right. Then I finally will go to the yellow and then pick up a shade of yellow from the rectangle and then just draw it again right over that. Okay, so if I hide the red, I see the shade of yellow and basically that is, so this is yellow, black, I have blue, and then I have my red color. Okay. All right. So this is what is going to happen. So first I'm going to convert all of this here into symbols, and I want the black to be the first to show, right? All right. So I'm going to convert this into a symbol. So black, and I go to modify and then convert to symbol. So um, I'll make sure I close each of them and then have only the block showing. So this is my, right, so there's the block layer. So this here will be converted to a symbol, right? So I'll unlock and then right click, convert to a symbol. So I'll name this as BB, black. And then I'll go to the next one, which is a yellow. So again, I'll select the yellow by unlocking right there. Okay, right click, convert to symbol, yellow, and then I go back, hide that, and unlock blue. Once the blue is selected, right click, convert to symbol, and that is B blue. And then I hide and then bring back the red. Okay, click on the red layer, convert it to a symbol, label it as R, and click on OK. Right, so now I'm going to unhide all of the items so that we have unlock everything. Now at the 20th um, frame, I'm going to hold the shift key and select everything and insert a frame. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is that I want red, blue, and yellow to change colors, but I want black to remain on the stage. So I'm going to set motion twin for the three. Okay. And so again, I'm going to move the red layer. So I'll move the red first. So I bring the playhead to this and go to the layer red with the selection to move that rectangle to the far end here, right? And then I'll come to the blue layer and then I'm going to also drag it to the far end, come to the yellow and drag it to the far end. All right. So then I bring the playhead to the end, okay, of each frame. And then I'm going to now move the rectangles to create the illusion of movement. So the first one has been done for red. I come to blue and drag the blue again. Make sure the playhead is at the end, and so I drag the blue over to cover up the red layer, and then finally I come to the yellow one, and then again I drag the yellow to cover up that over there. All right, so we're almost through with this. Um, since I want the black to be the first to show, I'm going to go ahead and click on mask and then drag each layer below the mask layer. All right, so if I hide this here and lock all this, you notice that the black layer is the first that to show, and as we drag through, we tend to see red, which is the layer above. Right. Now I'm going to move the yellow to come to the end of the 20th keyframe, right? And then I'll move the blue to also come to the end. And then I'll move the blue. I move the yellow first and then the blue. And then I'm going to extend the max layer to extend to all of them. Right, so here you notice it moved from black and then it turns to yellow and then to blue and then finally to red. But what I want to happen is that before this test here turn color to red, it is still going to display the black color. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stand at or you just come here and then insert a frame, right? So here you notice that um, from this point, it changes color while still maintaining black, okay? And I want the same thing to happen to the blue and the red. So what I'm going to do is at the 60th frame from color yellow, I'm going to insert a frame. So what is going to happen is that this will maintain the color black, and then here is going to maintain the yellow color until it changes entirely to blue, right? And then I want blue also to show, and then before it changes entirely to red. So I insert another frame. So here you notice from blue it changes to red and gradually it takes over. All right, so that is the third example on how to use masking. Um, all right, so this brings us to the end of this tutorial on masking. We'll look at other interesting things as far as animation is concerned. So till we meet again, bye bye.